Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Western fans, wherever you might be watching me or joining me this moment. I welcome you with great excitement. We are here to discuss and analyze certain issues, of course, before the public domain, and the updates regarding these topical issues as it borders on existence, peace as humans, and of course, within the Nigerian state. Now, coming from the office of the Biafran Chief of Staff, the updates on the Prime Minister of the Biafran Republic government in exile, and some rumors and speculations surrounding these circumstances is what we are to review. Of course, the Nigerian government is involved because the Nigerian government has written to the Finland authority demanding the extradition of Simon Ekpa, of which a panel of inquiry was set up by the Finnish government to make a finding over the alleged act of terrorism or treasoning uh, accused against their own citizen, one of the notable personalities in Finland, Mazi Simon Ekpa, that measures as the Biafran Prime Minister in the Biafran government in exile. Now, this is the update coming from the Chief of Staff to the Prime Minister of the Biafran Republic government in exile. We all know, for those who are following up the happenings of most recent, that the Biafra declaration was made despite the absence of the Prime Minister of the Biafran Republic government in exile, Mazi Simon Ekpa. The Chief of Staff stood in, in the gap to fill the absence of the Prime Minister, Mazi Simon Ekpa, as is being ably celebrated by the people who believe in the cause of freedom and the emancipation of their own people. Prior to this time, we are going to see what has been trending before now. Simon Ekpa has been able to make himself very clear, arguing that he's going to compile several indicting evidences, video evidences of the alleged assaults, violation of people's rights, infringement on fundamental rights of the people to life, and other intimidations coming from the Nigerian government and the security operatives. Well, this is what is coming from the desk of the Chief of Staff of the Biafran Republic government, or United States of Biafra as is being declared. Apart from this, the Chief of Staff, there have been some misconceptions about her personality for those who are not happy with whatever they believe would be their reasons for making such positions. But regardless of that, I'm not here to judge anybody. I'm not here to dabble into certain things that I don't have privy to. I'm here just to analyze as a free thinker and to discuss issues that is before the public domain. It is no longer something that is hidden from the public domain. We all are aware of the realities and the updates or developments, but there are certain information that I'm not privy to, so I wouldn't want to dabble into it. Some accusing the chief of staff acting beyond her powers. Well, you never can tell. Before someone could be appointed as chief of staff to the prime minister or any other person in within the corridor of power, one thing is very clear we must understand, and our instincts, common sense will tell us that someone cannot appoint somebody to be his or her chief of staff if he or she is not acquainted with the person. Mazi Simon Ekpa may have, by my own opinion, have understood who the chief of staff, Dr. Ngozi Orabeze, who she is, what she represents, her caliber of person, her trust thresholds, and before she could trust her with the office of the chief of staff. It is not all commerce affair. It is not everybody affairs or anybody can come and occupy such positions. So Simon Ekpa must have reposed certain level of confidence in her ability, in her commitment, in her sincerity, in her trust before she could be considered as the chief of staff of the Biafran Republic government in Ezra. Having learned from the past what happened to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, how eventually he was betrayed, and in the course of events, you know what turns out, how it turns out to be. Whatever be the case, uh, just give me a second. So whatever be the case now, we are to review this and the position why the Nigerian government is on the run, because it's one thing to be alleged of some criminality, and it's one thing to prove beyond reasonable doubt your case. Of course, feeling according to information, we are reporting based on the updates given by the chief of staff of the Biafran government in this side, who, according to certain informations, that she is still in Finland working with the prime minister closely to understand what exactly is playing out. According to her report, the local Finland police has accelerated their investigation into the purported lies peddled by the Nigerian government. I wouldn't use the word terrorists because she included it there. She may have her reasons and justification for that, but uh, in order to protect, of course, the intelligence of my listeners, I want to withhold that. Having said that, she said again that the local Finland police has accelerated their investigation to the purported lies peddled by the Nigerian state against our Prime Minister, against Simon Ekpa. As you join us in this broadcast, kindly hit the like buttons, share this video, and you can as well make your own positions known and let others get to join us. Share it in any platform you believe uh, it could be of great benefit. Let them join us and get to know what is playing out. Now, this is the position of the chief of staff acting in the absence of the prime minister, in the capacity of the prime minister. When you're a chief of staff, you have a delegated power and authority to act on behalf of your master or the president or the prime minister if he delegates certain authorities or duties to you. So, having said that, within the context of our discussions, I wouldn't want to dabble into whatever opinion anyone may have had concerning her. But for my own opinion concerning her, she was able to muster up courage even in the absence of the prime minister of the Biafran Republic. I mean, history has been made, and the declaration restoration of the Biafran state in Finland could not be complete without reckoning to her dexterity and her doggedness, just as the Deborah of old. You saw what she did, was able to galvanize and still sum up courage despite, in spite of the intended clamp down, or what I would say, the bad luck of what's the fears that was spreading, the agony, the anxiety resulting to the aftermath of the supposed or purported arrest of the prime minister. Some people's spirit was down, but she summed up courage. I saw the woman, not just the woman, the man in her, and the courage she exhibited. No wonder Simon Ekpa had considered her to be the chief of staff. She was able to carry everyone around, but amid that, in the course of time, somehow, perhaps some argue that she is acting under the instruction of the prime minister. It behoves on when the prime minister eventually is out, he can now tell the story. So it might be very prejudicial, making a very hasty conclusion about the steps she is taking. You know, my people do say, "Anụgbaja ọsọ agbara ya ajọ egbe." Ihe adị ka eche ya, ka echere ya. You know what? When the events have been altered, you should, of course, annul, shift in order to annul the effect. I think that is what exactly may have happened. That having said that, well, we proceed with our own discussions. Let's just have. Okay, thank you once again. As you join us or they join us, kindly hit the like buttons, share this video, let it go viral, let others get to join us because we are having a very good deliberations and issues of importance we can't deny the realities. Reviewing the position or the updates on the Prime Minister of the Biafran Republic government in exile and the situational report coming from the office of the Chief of Staff, which is the direct man, the right hand man, or the right hand woman of the office of the Prime Minister, updating or intimating the words of the latest happenings about the state of Simon Ekpa, the Prime Minister in the Finland, where he resides, and is being nationalized as the Finnish citizen. You know, Finnish is considered as one of the most elevated nations of the earth, the happiest people on the surface of the earth, according to the Freedom House, the most freest state in the world. You know what that means? And they are the highest life expectancy in the world. Their people are very much happy. And what does that imply? They have great respect for their own citizens. They wouldn't want their citizens to be uh, toppled upon or to be taken lightly. So they are taking their time to investigate the allegations made or levied against their support citizens who measures as the Prime Minister of the Biafran Republic government in exile. He was not in detention, but because of the ongoing investigation, he had been given certain instructions according to the office of the Chief of Staff, Dr. Ngozi Orabreze, briefing us from his ex handle. Now, this is what she went on to say, as I've been able to establish this discussion. You have, oh, you can as well interact and follow up via the comment sections. Please kindly hit the like button. It's important so that the YouTube algorithm can push it to other viewers who may likely want to join us in this discussion. It is no longer a news that the Nigerian government is very much interested in Mazi Simon Ekpa's case, having considered him as a threat to the existence of Nigeria. And Simon Ekpa believes has been accepted by over 50 million of the Biafrans who participated in the just recently concluded uh, self-referendum organized by the Biafran Republic government in exile. Now, this is what the chief of staff has to say. No charges has been confirmed, discovered, levied against the Prime Minister Simon Ekpa. It's according to the Finland position, a Bureau of Inquiry or Investigation set up, that there have not been any charges confirmed against Simon Ekpa, discovered or levied against him as of the time of review. Now, no conviction has been brought against our Prime Minister. That is her position, given latest development and happenings within or that surrounds the Biafran government and the Prime Minister, because the office of the Prime Minister is very important and that could not be ignored as far as the Biafran restoration is concerned. The impact of Simon Ekpa that have triggered the enmity, the hostility by the Nigerian government, considering him as a potential threat, a very big threat, even more than Nnamdi Kanu. You know, he was misunderstood when he was just beginning to be just a child, but that child eventually grew to become a man. And this man is being considered by the defense headquarters, Nigerian defense headquarters, to be a nightmare, a terror to the Nigerian government and of course, the sovereignty of the Nigerian state is being threatened. And he has been able to show that he is not just a boy, but he is committed to the emancipation of his people. And Nigerian government, seeing his potential and the great possibility of jeopardizing the existence of Nigeria, which he has remained relentless regardless of however odious and exacerbating the situation. You can see even in his absence, the chief of staff was able to step in his state and still carry out the already scheduled program that was a very big shock to all, even the Finnish government and the media were able to carry this news as one of the breaking news in the history of the Biafran restoration struggle. It had never happened in the history of the Biafran restoration struggle. I believe that, the past agitators, Dim Chukwuemeka Ojukwu, did his part, but never attained such level of awareness, global awareness, you know. And of course, Wazirike came, his own was just at the backyard. And Nnamdi Kanu came, and eventually after or prior to his rendition or adoption in Kenya, he said, Simon Ekpa is taking this Biafran struggle to unusual dimension. You must listen to him. You must follow him up. You know, that is the commendations, and that was a transfer of anointing. You know, anointing could be transferred through radiation or through contact, conduction, conversion, radiations, and all that transmissions process. So by that pronouncement, the spirit of Biafran agitation fell on Simon Ekpa. By that declaration, he said, you must, including the DOS and whosoever is subject to the leadership of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, should comply to this directive. But unfortunately, what we saw was something contrary. But I am not going to dabble into that. As a free thinker, my own concern is to review these developments, and you can adjudge by the content and what is happening. Make your own informed position or submissions via the comment section. And now, this is what the chief of staff, you know, I said chief of staff is not just in my mind, it's not just all commerce affair. It's not such something you just wake up and say, okay, you are chief of staff. No, she have been examined and found worthy of such positions. You know, of course, human beings can change, but then there is level of trust, reposed on her by the Biafran government, by the entire Biafrans, not just the Biafran government or the Simon Ekpa. That implies that she controls or commands enormous responsibilities, having been reposed, such level of confidence being reposed by just not just Simon Ekpa, but by the entire nation of the Biafran state. You know what that means? If you have to fumble, it means you are losing the greatest honor in your time and your posterity would have enjoyed. So the issue of betrayal, it shouldn't come in the first place, because if you understood your positions and what has been reposed or entrusted to you, that is an honor that will last, transcend generations after generations, that you cannot dare to miss. You can't afford to jeopardize or to sabotage such cause. Is a great honor. I've been the chief of staff because whenever the history of the Biafran restoration struggle will be written, of course, your name will be part of the story or success story and will be written in the sand of time in gold. Well, that is quite very important. I just want to lay the preambles with these discussions, and we review the position of the office of the chief of staff to the Prime Minister Simon Ekpa and how Nigerian interests come to play. Yes, of course, it's been a long battle, and the consultations and the meetings here and there before the Finland's authorities could give a listening ear to the Nigerian government in order to exonerate themselves from whatever allegations that have been levied that the Finnish government is accommodating or abetting terrorism. Well, they say we have to investigate this and get this record straight. And someone is saying that based on unconfirmed news, that the Nigerian government has withdrawn the terrorism allegation or charges against Simon Ekpa. They have now reviewed it to cyber crime or cyber, crime or whatever it is has to do with such connotations. You withdraw if eventually that is to be true. Now, if you have withdrawn the terrorism charges, what else? What is cyber crime or cyber whatever? Cyber incitement or cyber what? So let's get on with this development. If that happens to be true, which means there is not even any case to tender before the Finnish government. And he said no charges has been confirmed, discovered, levied against Simon Ekpa, the Prime Minister. No conviction has been brought against him. Now, if no conviction has been brought against him as of the time of this report, now why are people speculating that he is in the most horrible prison, the most toughest prison in Finland? I don't understand that, which means there is a gap, a knowledge gap that the public are not being fed with. Whatever be the case, as a rational and a free thinker, we begin to ask questions because if Mazi Simon Ekpa has been in prison or any allegation levied against him, CNN, BBC would have taken that up. We would have taken if eventually he has been accused or indicted as of now, it will have been blown up. You know what that means. And there are people ready, bloggers ready to push it out. But these are just mere speculations. And I think I could agree with the position of the chief of staff based on the report, because she is the one that has the direct authority to report or represent the position of Simon Ekpa as of now, pending whenever Simon Ekpa comes out. If there is anything that is not in tandem with his position, well, he will clarify that. But as it stands now, as a free thinker and a public analyst, I will have to be very straight and forward without trying to contradict my position. But I'm making this based on the report. We get to let others know what is happening. Now, with the barrage of evidence against the Nigerian states, she described at Nigeria as a terrorist group. That is not my concern. She have a case to prove regarding that. Their human rights violations, abuses, their reintegration of terrorists into the military, police, and other security forces in connivance with other Biafran agents. You can understand her position now that the barrage of informations, of evidence against the Nigerian government has barred the Nigerian government and their legal counsel to proceed with the prosecution of Mazi Simon Ekpa in Finland, because Simon Ekpa, prior to this time, said they are going to compile all the atrocities, abuse, human rights abuses, the killings of purportedly being carried out by the Nigerian security operatives, and they will compile that against the Nigerian state. Perhaps this have offered him the opportunity to present that before the Finnish government, and then we see the evidence. And another one I want to say is the reintegration of the terrorists into the military. You see, Nigeria is not short of human capital. They are not short of human beings. We have over 200 million has been alleged or estimated. Now, what is the justification of reintegrating terrorists, people that have dislodged several communities, citizens, supposed Nigerian citizens, that have killed them, annihilated their families, disturbed their communal settlements and activities going on, and you went on to reintegrate them to become your defense system, to be reintegrated into the defense system? Isn't that an act of terrorism? Because those people, there is no way that have been that have been radicalized, who believe that the only way to live or feel fulfilled is to commit crime, is to kill, to steal and destroy. You bring them back into the military, your security architecture, and thinking they will protect your supposed citizens. It means you have no value for the life of the citizens. You have no value for any Nigerian citizen's life. Of course, the rest is history. What we are seeing, most of them turn against even the institution and the security, their counterparts, and begin to kill them. They sabotage the effort of the other security operatives who may want to end terrorism and fight in defense of the Nigerian territorial integrity. See how they have infiltrated the system, because it's been alleged to be a conspiracy by the Buhari's administration to infiltrate the Nigerian security by the supposed Boko Harams and others under the guise of repented. Who made them to repent? Does Nigeria have the facility to de-radicalize them under such conditions? How many years or how many months does it take? And how do you ascertain that these people will not go back to what they have been indoctrinated, what they have been taught how to do from the childhood? You know what that means? It doesn't just start overnight. So it takes a very conscious effort, time to de-radicalize them, and they must not be within the same environment if you want to achieve that. But that is being considered as a lip service, insincerity on the part of the Nigerian security operatives, which of course international communities have indicted their sincerity and commitment to the fight against terrorism. Because you cannot be fighting terrorism and you are aiding and abetting the same terrorism by reintegrating the supposed terrorists that have caused much harm, much damage against the people. Even the military personnel, the security personnel has been greatly affected. Most of them have lost their lives. Most of them have been amputated, disfigured for life because of the activities of this same Boko Haram. You are reintegrating among them to continue sabotaging the cause. That is why international community does not believe in the sincerity and commitment of the Nigerian government against the fight of terror or terrorism. or insecurity, of course, that have marred the entire system, that have disrupted the entire system, costing the Nigerian government millions or billions of dollars in defense budget, billions of dollars in defense budget. While the security operatives personnel are crying that they have been underpaid, their welfare packages are not being considered, or is nothing to write home about in the current economic realities today. Most of them who some of courage have been able to expose their sufferings, and they could not bottle up what they are passing through. Nobody is uh, immune from this, because you are working as an army or whatever just to keep and a living and take care of your families. If that it becomes an elusive and pursuit, then it means your entire effort is defeated, and such people will be demoralized. That's why you see massive resignations and of the military personnel and all that. But that is not where we are going. But this is very clear. It's a Nigerian government is on the run to prove their incitement allegations. It is one thing to be accused, and it's another thing for the accuser to prove the case beyond reasonable doubt. Well, the chief of staff went further to say, amidst this controversy surrounding her recent actions, she has shown some level of commitment and solidarity, standing by the prime minister. She said, "We we are here to scatter Nigeria for the peace of everyone," is referring to all ethnic nationalities. As the leader of the most populous party in UK, Kemi Badenoch, made revelations that she is not in Nigeria. She has nothing in common with the North, which she described as heaven for terrorism and the Islamization agenda, which means all these things are added to the fact that even Nigerians, well notable personalities within the same Nigerian, who has accomplished great feats across board different field of endeavors, are not happy with the system. If such a woman, who is a leader of the biggest party in the world, the Conservative Party in the United Kingdom, could make such a statement, which means there are information privy to her, that information that is not before the public domain, or perhaps is being speculated before the public domain, that she has privy to, for her to say that the northern Nigeria is a heaven for terrorism, for Islamization, for Boko Haram, and the politicians, political elites, the traditional rulers have to exonerate themselves from such heavy allegation, because it is an indictment on the northern political elites and other security or traditional rulers within the north. They have to clear themselves and convincingly that they are not part of that, and what the effort they have made, if they are in control of the northern population and they listen to them, they should have found a lasting solution to the myriad of problems bedeviling the northern populace. They have a comparative advantage to turn around their fortune with the enormous population. They claim to be an advantage, but in reality has become a is constituting nuisance, as we can see today. Out of school children, as the former president of Obasanjo described it, that the 20 million out of school children in the north is a potential opportunity for the recruitment by the terrorists. And we have seen that most of the female folks are being used as for suicide bombers and all that, which is a crime against the children or humanity. But whatever be the case, let's get to know what is your own take regarding this development. Whatever happened, this is the positions if Simon Ekpa has been indicted or convicted uh, based on the findings or investigation of the Finnish government, of course, the Nigerian papers will specify it boldly, and CNN and other notable medias, Western medias or conventional medias, will be able to carry it. But as it stands now, it still remains within the realm of speculations. And I think this is just the position of the chief of staff to the Biafran government in exile, and the prime minister giving an update or review of the states of the prime minister and the Simon Ekpa. Thank you once again for being part of this short broadcast. Let's get to know what is your own discussion or perhaps opinion, or what you perceive, observations regarding this development. And whatever be the case, we'll come back to continue the review, God willing, the next edition. I remain Chigozendebo, the host, anchor, and analyst. Bye for now, and have a very wonderful Yuletide seasons. Thank you.